104.1 KRBE Houston, a Cumulus station. Good morning, everyone.
We ready?
Live from the TXU Energy Studio.
Welcome to Around H-Town.
The following show is pre-recorded.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us here on KRBE. You're listening to Around H-Town. I'm your host, Maureen Cooper. Joining us now from a local organization called CanCare, we have President and CEO Darcie Wells. Welcome to the show, Darcie.
Thanks so much, Maureen.
Yeah, for those listening who are not familiar, tell us a little bit about this. What is CanCare?
Absolutely. So CanCare was born in Houston 35 years ago, and we are dedicated to the emotional support and giving hope to people who are facing cancer. And hope is very powerful medicine to complement what's happening in your cancer journey. It really helps to ensure the most positive health outcomes for cancer patients and their families.
Definitely. So how do you go about this really difficult task? How do you help people emotionally who are going through cancer
Absolutely.
treatment?
So we find cancer survivors and caregivers, and we put them through some incredible training on how to provide emotional support to their peers. And then we match people. It's like the Match.com of cancer support. So people come to us who are currently facing a cancer diagnosis, or maybe their loved one is, and we reach into our very robust data bank of trained volunteers to provide the most custom match to their circumstances as possible. So they really have someone who understands what they're going through. You know, you can have the most amazing, supportive family, friends, and network around you going through cancer. But if you don't have that person who truly understands what you're going through, it can be incredibly lonely and scary. And so having that person who they can confide in and have confidential conversations with, who understands what they're going through, is very powerful.
Yeah, I can imagine that in many cases, a diagnosis like that, as much as your family and friends love you and will support you, it's so helpful to be able to talk to someone who's been through what you're going through, especially with cancer being so many different things, you know. Is the match based on the exact type of diagnosis, or is it more like the person and their
Sure.
situation, or both?
Our system allows people coming to us for support to tell us what's most important to them.
Okay.
Typically, we match on the cancer diagnosis, getting that as close to a match as possible, the stage of cancer, the age of the cancer patient, and their treatment. But they can also tell us, things like, I'm a mom with young kids, and so I really want to talk to someone who had young kids when they were going through their journey. So whatever it is that's most important to them is what we really factor into our matches.
Okay. It sounds like there's maybe two different kinds of people listening that really this should speak to. Obviously the patient, someone who has been diagnosed and who could use your support, but then also we have so many cancer survivors listening. We all know so many cancer survivors that I'm thinking that probably you need people from both sides, right?
Absolutely. We are always looking for volunteers, and these are both people who have survived cancer themselves or people who have supported a loved one through their cancer journey, because CanCare not only supports cancer patients, but we support the loved ones. These loved ones, these caregivers, they pour everything they can into the person they're caring for, and oftentimes they don't put their oxygen mask on first, as we like to say. So having someone on the caregiver end is critically important as well. But absolutely, the only way that this works is by having volunteers who have been through this journey, who can devote themselves to supporting someone else in the journey. So if anyone out there is a survivor or caregiver themselves and wants to give back, CanCare is an amazing place to do that.
And what is the commitment like? Is it mostly in person helping or phone, or how is it done usually for the volunteers?
We let our what we call clients, who the person receiving support, really determine how they want to receive the support. Most of the time it's phone calls and texts. It's, hey, how was your treatment today? Can we talk, before you go into treatment tomorrow? It can also be video conference, and if they're matched in the same geographic area, they can meet for coffee. But CanCare has now grown to support cancer patients and their caregivers in all 50 states, and we have volunteers in 28 states now. But the most robust populations right here in the greater Houston area.
That's great. So a lot of flexibility and opportunities to help others. If you've been through a journey like this is a way that you can give back, just by making a connection and helping someone through, the questions and the emotional time of dealing with cancer. Because cancer is one of those things that touches all of us, it seems like. We all know people of all ages and in all different situations in life who are dealing with some sort of cancer. What else did you want to get out there to our listeners about CanCare?
So we are also excited about a new book that we've published called Hope in the Face of Cancer. And it is stories from our survivors and our caregivers and people who have received support from CanCare. And it's just such an uplifting tool, a gift, for someone facing cancer in your life, because they can look and read that story and say, that person is facing the exact same diagnosis as I am. And look, they're a 20-year survivor. So it really provides hope. And it's a tool for us because not everybody wants to pick up the phone and request help. Not everybody knows that resources like CanCare are out there and exist. And so we're really striving to put this book in the hands of newly diagnosed cancer patients across the greater Houston area so that even if they don't reach out and call us, they have hope in their hands. So that's exciting. And it's one way that anyone in the Houston area can support the cancer patients and community in the greater Houston area. You can give a book, you can get a book, and give it to someone you love.
Yeah, I can imagine that there's a lot of times when you just don't know what to say to someone, someone that that you love, or maybe a coworker, someone that you don't know that well, but they're going through a tough time related to cancer. This seems like one of those sort of ways that you can reach out without being too intrusive or without having the right words, but, giving a gift that could help them. Where can people get the book?
Absolutely. So on our website, cancare.org, you can go to cancare.org/hopebook. And that links you directly to get a copy of the book for yourselves or to be a part of our effort to try to place this book in the hands of 35,000 newly diagnosed cancer patients and their families in our community. And you can give a book as well.
That's great. It's a big goal, but I know you'll get there. Once again, that website, cancare.org. I'm guessing that's where you can go to get help if you are going through cancer or you're a caregiver, to volunteer, to donate, and also if you want to go straight to the book, that was cancare.org/hopebook. Did I get all that right, Darcie?
You did, Maureen. Okay. Thanks so much.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here. It was just so great meeting you. And thank you for all the work that you do.
Thanks so much, Maureen.
More of Around H-Town in minutes. 104.1 KRBE.